What's up guys, this is Jeff and today I want to show you how to assemble this bike. If you haven't already watched the bike review, you can find it through the card at the top of this video or the link provided in the description section below. I hope this video will help you during the assembly process. Before you start assembling the bike, it's important to note that the bike comes with a 1-year warranty as mentioned in the manual. To use the warranty, you will need to submit the warranty form along the purchase receipt, the bike serial number located under the body, and the bike model. You can find it on the frame. If the bike doesn't come with the manual, you can visit the manufacturer's website to access the required information and fill out the necessary details. To assemble this bike, you will require the following tools: a Phillips screwdriver, preferably in size 2 or medium, wrenches in size 10, 13, and 15 mm, Allen wrench in sizes 4, 5, and 6 mm. If you don't have the specific 10 and 13 mm wrenches, you may utilize an adjustable wrench instead. However, it's required to have a 15 mm open-end wrench available. I generally recommended utilizing a 3-way Allen wrench with sizes 4, 5, and 6 mm. These sizes are more commonly employed and can endure significant pressure during assembly. If you need to purchase these tools, I've included a link in the description section below where you can find them at the lowest available price. These bikes are manufactured in China and their measurement system is based on the metric system. However, you can also use inch wrenches if needed. The wrenches may feel slightly loose in some instances, but they are still capable of tightening the screws and nuts. These are the size of inch wrenches that you can use. Some parts of this video are common to all bikes, and in order to be able to give you a complete explanation, I've used several bikes. So don't be surprised if you see different bikes in some part of video. Okay, let's start. First, check the box completely to make sure there is no any damage. If the box appears to be damaged, when opening it, make sure the bike parts are not damaged in the damaged area of the box. Avoid tearing the box completely when removing the bike. Why? The reason for keeping the box is that the bike may have been damaged during shipping and you plan to return it to the store and you will need the box for return process. Before returning the product, you can contact manufacturer customer service and ask them to send you a damaged part free of charge. Each store considers a return time policy for itself. For example, eBay or Amazon, you have 30 days to return the product. Make sure they get the part to you before this date, otherwise return the product. To open the box, use a 1/2 inch deep cutter or knife and start by cutting the top and side of the box. Even you cut through the middle of the top, as long as your cutter blade dip stays within 1/2 inch, it won't affect the bike. After opening the box, visually inspect the internal components including the wheels, front fork, rear derailleur, and handlebar to make sure they are free of any damage. After making sure that the bike components are intact, you can take the bike out of the box and still avoid tearing the box. To safely remove the bike, it's recommended to bend your knees slightly and place the box vertically and start taking the bike out in a slow and controlled manner. Pay attention to your posture. Do not put in too much pressure on your back to avoid muscle cramp. After removing the bike from the box, do not forget to check the inside of the box completely and do not throw away until you finish assembling the bike. Many times it happened that a small screw or nut was still hidden inside the box, even under the flaps. For ease of assembly, remove all paper and plastic cover from the bike. However, be careful not to damage the paint on the body when removing them, as this may lead to rust over time. Also be sure to remove any remaining tape from the body, as it will change the bike paint over time. In the comments of my previous video, some have asked why I don't use a bike assembly tripod. Well, let me clarify that I assemble bike for regular folks, not experts, and I don't know what percentage of people have a bike tripod. Second question, why do I choose the assembly bike on the floor instead of the table? While a smaller bike like 12-inch may be manageable on the table, but when it comes to the larger bike like a 20-inch and up, it's a whole different story. Attempting to assemble such a bike on the table would be like trying to fit an elephant into the matchbox. Someone else suggested that I should install the bike seat and handlebar first, and then turn the bike upside down to install the front wheel. Dear friends, you have the freedom to choose any assembly method you prefer. There is no limitation. However, with your approach, you would need to readjust the seat and handlebar setting once the bike is returning to its upright position. I would appreciate your comments on this matter, as it would be helpful to determine which method is easier overall. Let's start to assemble training wheels. Remove the rear axle nut and washer if present. Place the metal part under the screw that has a protrusion toward the back, and place the training wheel on the axle, and then install the washer and head nut. And at the end of the bike assembly, readjust them if needed. Some people ask about putting training wheel on the bike. Should the training wheels be in full contact with the ground, or should there be a certain distance between the training wheels and the ground? Training wheels, also known as balance assist wheels, are designed to help children learn how to balance while riding a bike in the early stages. If the training wheels are set to completely touch the ground, children may not understand the concept of balance. On the other hand, if the wheels are too far off the ground, children will always think they are falling. The recommended clearance for each training wheel is approximately half a centimeter, or one wheel is in contact with the ground and the other wheel should be about 1.5 centimeter above the ground. Training wheels without adjustable setting usually comes with this present distance when installed. Remove the head nut and wheel retainer from both sides of the axle. Check the tire and, if available, find a direction of rotation of the tire. Lift the bike frame and place the wheel axle in the fork. You will notice that the bike is stable. There is a hole at the end of the fork. Insert the wheel retainer into the hole and tighten the head nut by hand. In only a few limit models, only washers are used for the wheel retainers. Repeat the same process on the other side. Now align the wheel in the center of the fork and slightly tighten the head nut on the one side. Tighten the nut slightly on the other side, and finally tighten the head nut on each side completely. And don't forget to check the alignment of the wheel during the process. If the fork was bent and you couldn't put the tire in the fork, I made a video and I've put the link in the description section below how to fix it. Remove the plastic cover from the end of the steam bolt. If it's difficult to remove, unscrew the steam bolt and remove the plastic. Place your finger on the steam bolt and insert it into the head tube. If it doesn't fit, loosen the steam bolt a little and try it again. In rare cases, the hole may not align properly and prevent the rod from going in place. If this happens, use an iron file to slightly open the head tube. The height of the handle is adjusted. You can increase the height by half the length of the steam rod. Look for a specific mark or color on the bar to indicate the maximum height. For safety, the mark on the rod must be inside the tube. Align the tire with the handlebar and tighten the screw on the stem to secure the handlebar in place. Open the two zipper of the front bag, place the bag on the upper or lower handlebar and close the zipper. It's better to install it on the upper bar so that it doesn't cover the reflector. To install the pedals, find the right side of the pedal by checking the letters R or L labeled on the pedals. If there is no label, look for engraved letters on the bottom of the metal part. If the chain has came off the sun wheel or sprocket, reinstall it by placing it on the sprocket with your thumb and turning the pedal once. Install the pedal by hand only, without touching the threads and without using tools. Be careful to install the pedal vertically on the crank arm to avoid damage to the pedal and crank threads. For the left side, turn it counterclockwise, or easy way, turn it toward the front of the bike. After making sure the pedal is in the correct position, turn it a few times by hand, then while holding the rear wheel, use a 15 mm wrench to tighten it. In rare cases when the pedal cannot be installed, first install the pedal on the other side. Sometimes the pedal may be labeled with the letter L, but both pedals are designed for the right side of the bike. If it's not installed on the opposite side, go back and install the pedal from the inside of the crank arm in the opposite direction to the rear of the bike. This is done when the pedal or crank thread is damaged. And reversing the installation direction will help rebuild the thread paths for proper installation. Also, if the pedal installed in this position, then you know you have selected the right pedal. After installing the pedal for one side, repeat the same process for opposite side and make sure that the direction of rotation of the pedal is clockwise or toward the front of the bike. It doesn't matter if it's right or left, always install them toward the front of the bike. If your wrench gets stuck after tightening the pedal, to remove, push the wrench toward the outside of the crank arm and release it at the same time. If the seat reflector is loose, use a Phillips screwdriver to tighten the reflector screw until it cannot move. Make sure the reflector is level and positioned correctly, and be sure not to over-tighten the screw as it might break the reflector. I recommended installing the reflector close to the seat lock after adjusting the seat height. Note that I'm mounting the reflector close to the seat for minimal height. Open the quick release seat post lever and place the seat post in the desired position. While holding the quick release seat post nut with one hand, turn the quick release seat post lever a few times with the other hand until it feels tight. Close the quick release seat post lever regardless of height and direction of the seat and test the movement of the seat. If the seat still moves, open the quick release seat post lever. While holding the quick nut, rotate the lever one full turn and test again. Repeat this step until the seat stops moving. After the seat is secure, open the quick release seat post lever and adjust the height and direction of the seat and close the quick release seat post lever. At the end, it's necessary to check the work done and make sure that all bolts and nuts are properly tightened. When inflating tires, some people inflate the tire to the amount of air indicated on the tire. However, it's important to note that the value displayed on the tire represents the maximum air pressure that the tire can withstand. For most bikes, the recommended air pressure is between 25 to 35 psi. In another way, after inflating to 20 psi, sit on the bike to check the tire pressure. If the tire is not fully inflated, increase the amount of the air. Remember, the weight of the cyclist determines the amount of the tire inflation. To inflate the tire, first remove the valve cap and then put the air pump head on it. Sometimes this is difficult because by pressing the tube valve, the valve goes inside. If the tire is slightly inflated, first deflate it completely. Press your thumb on the back of the valve and place the air pump head on it. Inflate the tire halfway and make sure the tire is still on the rim. If part of tire pops out, release some air pressure, put the pops out area back inside the rim and reinflate it again. Over 90% of bike tubes have a Schrader valve, while the rest have the Presta valve. For Presta valve, you either need an air pump that supports this type of valve or you need a converter to conversion Presta valve to Schrader valves. To inflate the Presta model, first tighten the nut holding the valve on the rim, then remove the valve cap and open the nut above the valve all the way. Install the converter on it and inflate it like Schrader valve. After inflating, first remove the air pump head, then remove the converter and close the nut above the valve again. And finally, put the cap on the valve. If the nut holding the valve on the rim is loose, tighten it again. And finally, it's very important to teach children how to use brakes before riding a bike. Many accidents of children with trees or walls happen because they are not familiar with the braking system. So spend at least 10 minutes and teach them, and don't forget the helmet. If you have any question, please provide specific details or timestamp from the video so I can better understand your question and provide faster help. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel for support me and turn on all notifications to be the first to know about new videos. Feel free to visit other parts of the channel. Thanks for watching and don't forget to hit the like button. Until next video.